So last night on stream, a friend of mine, JC, you all should know him. Me and him got into a little debate about which agent had the best ult, specific to Jet and Phoenix, right? But however, that last night after I got off stream, I started thinking, I could do a tier list, and it'd be a great idea for a YouTube video. So here we are. I decided to make this. I'm gonna do this tier list. This is gonna cover like the agent overall as a whole. It's not gonna be their ults or their abilities, their role as to what they're supposed to be, whether it's Sentinel, duelist, etc., etc., and then also as to how much value they are to the team in general. Now, there's different comps that you can set up with your agents if you're in a 5-stack or a 3-stack, or and there's different ways that you can build onto one another to make that agent really shine. But as far as the agent itself goes, that's what we're looking at today, not like a comp setup, just the agent. So let's get started, shall we? So we're going to start with the Initiators, of course. They're going to start everything off in the matches, so why not start with them? We're going to start with Skye. I think Skye is a very valuable Initiator, is a very valuable agent overall. Her ult gives you a lot of information. Her dog gives you everything about Skye gives you information, and she can heal her entire team. So I think she's an A tier. I'm going to say she's an A tier Initiator. And then let's go over to Silva. Silva, I think, is a very good agent. Again, with Skye, very good at getting information, can really help out the team. His dart his dart and his drone are just really good. There's just so many things that you can do with Silva, and a lot of people don't like playing Silva on split, and I think that's one of the maps that he can shine on if you play him correctly. So I'm going to put Silva in the A tier with Skye. Let's move on to Breach. Breach, I think, is a really good agent. I really do. I think there are better options in place of Breach. There are definitely worse agents than Breach. Don't get me wrong. There are worse agents than him. His flash is really good. It's almost impossible to dodge. His ult's really good. I don't see a lot of value once you get on site with Breach, using his blinds or his ult. At that point, as far as helping his team goes, it's hard. It's hard. I think I'm going to put Breach into C class. I enjoy playing him. I just don't think he's on the same level as Silva or Skye. They're too good not to pick, and there's definitely better options than Breach. There's also worse options, so there's that. And last but not least, we're going to go to KO. I don't like KO. I think they added KO as kind of a counter to Killjoy. His knife gives a lot of information, especially on defense. I don't like the way he's played. I don't like the way he's played. There are some people that make it look good, but I genuinely don't. And I don't think he's of a lot of value to the team as a whole. There are better options. I want to put KO in the D class. I really do. As far as Initiator goes, I don't think it's enough. You're stopping maybe a bit of utility, but you're not really doing anything to the other team except for turning their stuff off. But it's not long. It comes back on unless he's ulting. But an agent shouldn't only be decent when they're in their ult. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm going to put KO in the D class. Let's move on to Sentinels. Of course, let's start with Sage. Sage is definitely, without a doubt, an S tier agent. Her wall is just, it's so useful in so many different ways. Obviously the heal, the ult, oh my god. Sage as a team player is the ideal team player. That's as far as it goes. I don't think there's any debate or discussion that needs to take place here. Now let's move on to Cypher. I like Cypher as an agent. Very good information. The camera. If he's played correctly, he's got his maps. Really, I think it's his maps. There's some maps I don't think that he'd be very good on, or maps I think he'd be really, really good on. I don't like the way he's played. Again, it's like, it's the same thing with KO. There's so many people that I see all the way up to plat. They just want to play around their utility, which is what you should do, but don't pick an agent to only play around their utility. So as far as a team player goes, I want to put Cypher in the C class. I just think there's better options. I just do. Now let's go to Killjoy. I think Killjoy is an S tier agent. I do. I think that if, again, with Cypher, you're going to play around your utility, but the information that's given as well, she can put her stuff down and then also go play with the team. Cyphers can do that as well. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't see so many people doing this. Cyphers, when I see a Cypher playing, they'll put their stuff down and they'll play with it. The Killjoys that I've seen are Molly. Any agent that can deal vulnerability to someone and can put that effect on an agent, I think it's just going to be really good. I really do. Viper, Killjoy, any agent that does that is going to be really good. But I genuinely think that Killjoy is an S tier agent. All right, and then last but not least with the Sentinels, we're going to go with Chamber. I really like Chamber. I like playing him. I think he's fun. I'm going to put him in the B class, or the B tier. As far as Sentinel goes, he is the one locking the area down, right? It's not necessarily his utility. He's got his alarm. But as far as that goes, Killjoy, when it comes to locking down an area, Sage, when it comes to locking down an area, their utility does that. With Chamber, it's him. It's himself. It's you're putting that teleport down so that you can get to an area quickly and lock a section of the map down. I think it's really good on attacker as well. I think he's really good on attacker with his alarm. His ult is really good. But the reason I'm putting him in B tier is because I don't think that the only thing that really genuinely is part of that team environment is that alarm. His teleport can help, but as far as truly helping your team accomplish the goal, getting on site, staying on site, I think he's a B tier agent. There's better options, but I enjoy playing him. I think he's fun to use. Now let's move on to our controllers, our smokes. I'm gonna go with Astra first, just because I think she's a simple agent. Well, she's a very complex agent. Don't take that the wrong way. But I think she can simply be put into a tier, and I think that tier is gonna be B. Astra's a really good agent. She does that vulnerability effect that I was telling you about with her pull. She's a good agent. She's a really good agent if you know how to play her. Her smokes, whenever you take, you're bringing her stars back, it smokes it for a couple seconds, then it goes away. I don't like her ult. Her ult could be better, but her other utility makes up for that. You have to almost dedicate your time to that agent to really grasp, just main that agent like you would any other agent, but on another level. Let's go to Brim. Brim's got that stim, and that stim is really good. The smokes are really good. He's just an all-around good agent. I'm gonna put him in the A tier. If you know how to use him, if you're throwing those stims down, helping your team whenever they go to peak, whenever they go to swing and angle. As far as a team player, Brim is the controller to go with. If you watch my streams, if you've watched any of my TikToks, my content, you know that I play Viper, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But I think that Brim is a really good player, really good agent as far as helping your team. And the ult, there's just so many things you can do with Brim. I think he's an underrated agent. As far as my opinion goes, he's A tier easily. Omen's blind is really good. I really like his blind as far as not being able to hear. I think Brim is a step above Omen in the team playing aspect of it. I want to put Omen in B. I want to put Omen in B with Astra and Chamber. I think that there is a better option. There are better options than Omen when it comes to controlling. I like Omen. I think there are better options as far as team playing. His ult is really good as far as, you know, if you need to get Spike. I just don't think he's on the same level as Brim. I just don't. Okay, and last but not least, my girl Viper. Personally, I think Viper, as far as team player goes, you can lurk with her if you want. This might be because I main her. I think she's an S tier agent, and I'm going to put her there. She's my S tier. She is my go-to controller. Her wall is just so good. You can help your team with a quick smoke on defense or attack from anywhere on the map. You can do that with Omen as well. It's just, I think Viper's better. I just do. Her ult is so good. There are so many things that you can do with Viper if you know how to play her. If you do it well. Her snake bite too. The vulnerability on that is crazy. It is crazy. I love it. I think Viper is easily an S tier agent. And now that we're done with her controllers, we're going to go to our duelist. First, I want to get this one out of the way. Until he gets a rework, Yoru is an F tier agent. I don't like him. I don't. The way he's played has stayed the exact same, and thus it's so predictable. Like, if he blinds, you're looking right at that TP until he gets that rework. He's going to be an F tier agent for me. His ult is good for information, but so is drone. So is Sky's dog. Like, if you're having to ult to get behind someone and or get that information, just go with a different agent. As far as team playing goes, I don't think yours the move. Easily counterable with Neon now. If Neon sees his ult, sees him inside of his ult, just chase him. When he comes out, it's a free kill. It takes a second to pull your gun out. Next, let's go with Reina. You know, I was thinking about where I was going to put her. I don't want to put her in S tier. I'm going to put her in A tier. As far as team playing goes, her blind is so good. It's so good. Entry with Reina is spectacular. But I'm going to put her in A tier because the team playing aspect, she's kind of her own, which a duelist should be. But if she did a little more as far as her utility other than her blind for the team, I would put her in S tier. But she's a really good agent. Everybody knows how she works. I don't have to explain that to you guys. I think she's a really good A tier agent. Next, let's go with Raze. I think Raze is an S tier agent. I'm gonna put Raze in S tier. Her nade is so good. Her boombot for information. Nade does damage. You know, can get a nice pick and set your team up for a nice finish, or you for a nice finish. Boombot, same way. Good information for your team. Clearing angles. Can do damage. If you play her on bind, you know the boombot through the TP to B site to hookah with the nade inside. It's really good. And Neon, the newest agent. From what I've seen, she's a really good duelist. She can get in there really quickly, much like Jet. Her wall helps her team a lot. I believe. I think it's a lot. But the way that I see people playing Neon right now, she'll put down her wall, and then her whole team will follow her through it, but she just stays right in it. And the wall doesn't do a whole lot of it does a little bit, but if you stand in it, but as soon as you pass that first wall and you're sitting in between them, just wait for them to come to you through the smoke, through the defensive smoke if you're on defense. And they're free kills that she's running through. She doesn't have her gun out when she's running. So the way that she's played right now is just so linear. And I think that's a really good term to use with the fact that her walls are really linear and that's just the way she's moving. But using the walls is more of just staying on one side of them instead of staying right between them. You're throwing your team into sight without clearing those angles. I don't think it's the way that it should be used. But I think people will adapt with her. Oh god, her laser pointer, bro. It's a lot. It is really a lot. It's really good. The concuss is really good. As far as team play goes, I'm gonna say she's a good A tier agent. I think she's gonna be A tier simply because the concuss helps her team a lot. The wall can help her team a lot. It's just the way she's played right now. I'd like to see I can't wait to see the way people that adapt to using her. So these two, Jet and Phoenix, was the center. They were the center of the debate last night. A lot of people would probably say that Jet is an S or an A tier agent. And a lot of people would probably say that Phoenix is probably B. I think that Phoenix, as far as team play goes, is an S tier duelist. And I think that Jet is a B tier duelist. Now don't click off the video just yet. Let me explain myself. I think that Phoenix's ult and his blind are much more useful when it comes to helping your team than Jet does. Jet can dash it, she could smoke for you, she could dash in, smoke and dash, get into sight, but it's the same way with Neon, right? Once you, if she smokes, if she puts her smoke down and dashes straight into it, everyone's looking at it, right? She's not really clearing anywhere. I mean, you can do it. You can clear an angle really quickly, but the thing is, as soon as she comes out of her smoke, or if you're a really good player and can shoot through it, she's dead. Which, you know, hopefully your team's right behind you with that dash and can get that trade. But her ult, you know, Jet is an agent centered around herself, which is okay. That's how she should be played, you know, but I think that Phoenix is just better when it comes to helping the team. The ult is a second life, good intel. I mean, it's the same way with yours ult, I guess, but at least you can shoot with Phoenix's and you can use your utility. But with Phoenix, I think that if he's not using his molly only to heal himself, you know, throwing it every now and then, cutting off, you know, paths and angles and using his wall to heal himself, or also to, you know, if he's being played correctly, I think he's an S tier agent. I mean, I guess you could say if they're all being played correctly, they're all S tier, but I think that there's better options. I think there are better options than Jet. I do. I think that Reina or Phoenix, I think they're better options. And that's the hill I'm going to die on. And that was the center of the debate last night. Yeah, this is completely my opinion, but let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about Jet and Phoenix in the comments, but you guys have a fantastic day, and that's it for this video.